book friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel, and welcome to one, my first video shot on my new camera, two, probably one of the last videos of the year before I do all of the end of year wrap up type things that are gonna happen in January. Including, I think, because I haven't done a wrap up since September, October, in that area. Oversight on my part, but it's fine. So I haven't told you about anything that I've read since like the beginning of October, and I'm not gonna do that in this video, but I didn't even tell you what this video is going to be instead. I think I'm gonna do a book haul for you guys because I have a lot of things that I have received, gotten, etc. that I really need to haul and find a space for on my shelves. That feels important. Also, I don't really want to do an end of the year, like, because I haven't told you guys anything that I've read since October, and I don't really want to do that now. You're gonna get all of that in a month anyway. So I've had a bunch of good things that I've read. I've enjoyed a lot of the things that I've read. You can check out all of the reviews for those that I've done on Storygraph. Mostly, if it's an ARC, it's also on Goodreads. But without any further ado, let's just start hauling. Obviously, this is not going to include anything that I have unboxed for Unplugged over the last few months. You guys have seen those. You can go back and watch those if you want to. Everything is stunning. All of the books that they have been sending out are beautiful. And next, you're going to see... Sorry, I said let's jump right into the haul, but I did want to mention soon is the time for the Unplugged Advent Calendar, and I also signed up for the Twisted Retreat, their horror box Advent Calendar as well. I don't think it's going to make any sense to do either of those as like a video in and of itself. I'm going to try and jump into the reel space and maybe do a real unboxing of every book on the date that they are supposed to be done for both Twisted Retreat and for Unplugged. So one's romantasy, one is horror. I will lump those on the same day, and we're gonna do those as reels, I think, instead of an actual like unboxing video. Now, without any further ado, let us jump into the haul portion of the video. So first I want to talk about I Got the Gods Below. This is by Andrea Stewart. I have read her Bone Shard Daughter series. That's a lie. I've read 2 of the 3 books in her Bone Shard Daughter series. I'm really bad at completing series, and I would like to complete the Bone Shard Daughter because I really liked those first 2 books, but I need a refresher. It's been a minute. So I know that I like her writing style, and I saw that she was coming out with a new series. This has been out for a minute. This is not new. She's already on like book 2 at least of this, or maybe book 2 is coming out soon. This is a story in which humanity is in war, and to get out of it, I guess, they make a deal with the god that is going to indebt them to this god forever, and the protagonist of this story learns that she has the ability to control these gems that humanity is being forced to mine for the gods. It's kind of that synopsis is kind of giving the first Mistborn book, just like a little bit. Honestly, I love that story, or that series, so like hopefully this is going to be in the same vein. I don't have a rhyme or a reason here. I just know that I have a lot of books to get through, so this is not going to go in any particular order that makes any sense to anybody at all. So I might have mentioned back in, I think it was in October, question mark, around that time, that I went to a signing by Bryn Weaver for tourist season. This was in conversation with Stasia Stark, so I went and I got tourist season, and it came with cute swag, little character cards that I now understand having finished this book, and of course is signed by Bryn herself. And this I enjoyed. I did finally read this. I actually did enjoy it. I am a little bit sad that it is going to be like a whole trilogy just following this couple. That's not my favorite as opposed to 1 book per couple, but tourist season is about, if you know Bryn Weaver, it's dark, it's funny, it's comedic. It's about 2 people who are individually serial killers who come together in an enemies to lovers romance in Cape Carnage, where he wants to kill her very, very badly, and she doesn't know this, and romance ensues. I'm not gonna spoil anything else, but like tourist season was pretty funny. Next, I'm not gonna put these in any particular order, but then I went on a Stasia Stark haul binge and bought every single book in the Deals with Demons series. Some of them I got at that signing, so these, I think they're all signed. They should all be signed. Yeah. So these are all signed by Stasia Stark, which is amazing. The entire Deals with Demons series, which I enjoyed immensely when I read them in like September, October. That was great time. And so some of these I got at that signing with Bryn and Stasia, and some of them I got, a friend went to the Book Harvest Con here in Chicago and picked up the ones that I was missing for me. And then of course the bottom one, what's that one? A Court, falling, is A Court So Cruel and Lovely, A Court This Cruel and Lovely. A Court This Cruel and Lovely, which is the only series of hers I have yet to read, I think. But I am going to give it a shot because I went so far deep into the Stasia Stark rabbit hole that I might as well just read everything in her backlist now. Also, you're just gonna have to forgive the state of my bookshelves. I have a toddler, you all are aware, and he likes to play with the things that are on them. So if I were to pick up everything that he puts on it, moves around every single time, I would just constantly be playing catch up. So the next book I wanted to haul is this special edition of For Whom the Bell Tolls by J.C. Lynn. I read this sometime in the last few months. I'm not exactly sure when, but I loved it. The story is great, the romance is great, the premise is fantastic, and it's not anything I have ever read before. And let's appreciate how stunning, let me go sideways so you can have a better idea. Let's appreciate how stunning these edges are. Are they not beautiful? This is like, honestly, it was like the Target edition or something, I don't know. But look at the foiling. I love a foiling, and it's purple and it's beautiful. And if you have not read For Whom the Bell Tolls and you are into romantasy of any kind, this book follows Lily, who dies from cancer in like the first chapter. She goes to the afterlife, and in the afterlife she could either go and enjoy her paradise, you know, like normal people I guess probably would, but she spent most of her life working in customer service, and when she ventures down into hell just on like a sightseeing opportunity, I'm not going to get into the specifics as to why, she sees that the demons are struggling with the terrible souls that are being sent to hell, and so she sets up a help desk to help them, and a customer service desk, if you will, for them, for the terrible people down there to direct their inquiries towards. And so she sets up this help desk and kind of starts working in hell just like for fun. And while she's down there, she meets a demon. His name is Bell. That's short for something. I don't remember what. His name is Bell. They hit it off. There's a very Among Us type game that they are playing when all of the demons are like on their off time or whatever. It's delight. This entire book is a delight. Obviously she falls in love with Belle, but there's like so much emotion, so much hilarity. It's just such a good book. And now that I'm talking about it, I just want to reread it. Next, I'm going to do 2 book of the month choices that I've made over the last couple of months. The first is Red City by Marie Lu. They did a special edition. We're just showing off edges and stuff like that today because they did a special edition of Red City and it is stunning. The rest of it's just like a normal book of the month kind of look, but they did sprayed edges and I love a sprayed edge. I'm not entirely familiar with this other than it's by Marie Lu. Apparently it's about alchemy, which is wielded by crime syndicates in the form of sand, a drug that enhances those who take it into a more perfect version of themselves, more beautiful, more charismatic, simply more. So it's apparently about 2 childhood friends that like find themselves on opposite sides of this like elite, very dark kind of place. And they find their way back to each other and they have to figure out what they are doing. That is very surface level, but like, it sounds so good. And the storyline, like, and the cover, it's just another one that I picked up. I think this was for November. That is Violet Thistlethwaite Is Not a Villain Anymore, which is cozy fantasy. This is not a special edition, it's just a normal book of the month edition. And it's about how Violet's evil villain boss has like died or something, and so she doesn't have to be a villain anymore. So she decides to go to a small town, open up a flower shop, and just live in happy retirement. She shares a greenhouse with an alchemist, I think his name is Nathaniel, and sparks ensue. They kind of fall in love, but he's prickly and she used to be a villain, so like there's some friction there. And I haven't read it yet, but it sounds great, and I've been really digging a lot of cozy fantasy lately, so this sounds delightful. I can't wait to read it. These next 2 books, I am a member of the Broken Binding sci-fi and fantasy subscription, which is quarterly question mark or every other month. It might be every other month. And so the first one was October. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's October. And the first book in that subscription is the new Witcher book, Crossroads of Ravens by Andrzej Sapkowski. And it's a special edition and it is Beautiful. Let's look at the edges, because you know. All right, I think it's in focus. Not 100% certain. You know your girl is a sucker for an edge. Oh my gosh. And the inside artwork is beautiful. So we've also got this. Stunning. Like absolutely just beautiful, gorgeous artwork. It is not signed. It does have a ribbon bookmark, but it's also, I don't know, it's not like foiled, but it is, I don't know what you call these. They're still beautiful. If you can even see it like well. Get my face out of the way, there we go. So it's a really pretty edition. I am not up to date on the Witcher series, book or TV at this point, honestly. I stopped reading, I think at the first, maybe it's like Blood of Elves. I think I stopped reading at Blood of Elves. And I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even watched the last season of The Witcher like that Henry Cavill was in. So I don't know that I'm going to catch up on that, but I would like to continue reading the books. And so I am looking forward to getting to this at some point. This is the last Broken Binding one. I've got 2 more books after this that I want to talk about really quick, but we're not going to go too in depth on those. And then we're done. It was a bit of a big haul for me because I don't really buy a ton of physical books anymore. My shelves are kind of full, so I save it for like stuff that I really, really love. But the next Broken Binding book is All That We See or Seem. That's by Ken Liu. This is, I think, his sci-fi, I want to say debut. Let me get my face out of this again. So the edges are stunning. I'm pretty sure this is his sci-fi debut. He wrote The Grace of Kings, which I have heard amazing things about, but I have not read yet. We've got foiling on the hardcover. Beautiful. Interior artwork, which is gorgeous. And a ribbon bookmark. We love a ribbon bookmark. And this copy is in fact signed. So the Witcher one was not signed, but this one is. I know what the next release is for their sci-fi and fantasy series. We're getting it in January. That one is, I believe, going to be signed because I was an existing subscriber. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys in case you are subscribers and you have not somehow figured out what the next book is going to be, but I'm pretty excited about it. Okay. Second to last is Brimstone, the second Quicksilver book by Callie Hart. I have not yet gotten the chance to read this. I am very excited to because I loved Quicksilver so much last year. I've heard kind of mixed things that have got me a little concerned, but I am keeping an open mind. So this is book 2 in the Quicksilver series. This is Brimstone. It has these gorgeous metallic edges on this edition. Gosh, that's beautiful. It has these gorgeous metallic edges on this edition. We have got beautiful interior artwork. And foiling on the hardcover, which we love. I don't know which edition I love better. I've seen a few of them floating out there. They made a lot of special editions for this particular book, and there's one that I saw that has like tracks on the side, which I really, really like. Anyway, I read Quicksilver last year. I had a great time. I don't know what is in store for us on this one, but like I said, I'm keeping an open mind. I am really, excited to be able to finally read this because I just finished the last book that I'm finally going to haul, which is The Strength of the Few by James Islington. I literally just finished it this morning. This is the second book in the Hierarchy? Yeah, the Hierarchy series. I read The Will of the Many last year and I was obsessed. I could not stop thinking about that book. I could not stop talking about that book. This is Roman-inspired well, I'm not going to get into the spoilers, but book 1 is Roman-inspired fantasy with a fascinating magic system that involves like giving your will to other people in kind of a similar way to Brandon Sanderson's Warbreaker series, where like you are born with a certain number of breaths and you can give that breath or like part of that breath to another person and it will like increase their strength, sort of, in Warbreaker. Here, it's very similar. Each person has a certain amount of will, and you can cede that will to somebody else. And in the hierarchy, there are these pyramids of strength. So every person that cedes their will, there's a person above them that is receiving the will from like 4 different people, and then a person above them that is receiving will from the person below them, and then other different people. So like pyramid scheme, but with life magic, if you think of it that way. And it was so interesting and it was so good. And it follows Viz, who is being sent to an academy. He's an orphan and he's being sent to an academy to try and figure out who murdered his new adoptive father's brother. And he has to go through the academy, but there's other stuff going on behind the scenes, and you're learning more about it, and you're seeing all these twists and turns. And the way that book ended, I did not see coming at all. Which is why when I got to this book, I was a little surprised at the direction that it went. I know it's been a little controversial, but I personally really actually enjoyed book 2. It took me a lot longer to read it than I had hoped that it would, but I eventually finished it, and I enjoyed it a lot. I had a good time with this. I think that once again, we ended on a bit of a cliffhanger. Not quite as bad as we did in book 1, I would say, but still a noticeable bit of a cliffhanger, and because of that, I can't wait for book 3. I hope he's working on it. I hope we are getting a release date for it soon. We're probably gonna have to wait another year though. So that is the last book that I wanted to haul for you guys. I have run out of space behind me in which to put these things, but that is everything that I needed to haul for you. I finally have caught up on all of those. I can't wait to read all of them. Let me know if you've already read some of these and what your thoughts are, what you recommend that I pick up next. But that's it for this one today, guys. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out my channel. Down in the description box, you're gonna see links to my Goodreads, my Instagram, my Storygraph, my X, if there's anything else in there, I don't know, it's down there if you want to follow me on any of those. But that's it for this video, and I will talk to you guys in probably the new year. Bye.